Alright, we should have the sound back now. I got a... Alright, so which one's the... Yeah, where we go? We got microphone and audio right there. We can go back to sources and check all that stuff out. We're good over there. That'll be fine. So, let's hook up this. I'm catching up, guys. I've got a lot that I got to get caught up on. We had a unfortunate... What the heck is happening to my... Man, whatever. I normally... Oh, there it is, right there. Found it. I was looking for my magnets. Thank you, Patu. Appreciate that. I look frozen. So take a look and see if my head is froze. I'm going to go to Facebook and see if I'm froze over there. So Facebook, see, where's Facebook at? Facebook land. Am I froze on Facebook? I can't tell. Okay, good now. Cool. Good to know. Cool. It is good. It's good. Let me go over to YouTube land. Where's that? Maybe that killed it. Stink bugs, it won't kill them, but for these other boogers, that will get them sometimes. Refresh this. Click this file. I get all these loaded up because I hate it. Absolutely hate it when I can't talk to you guys. Whoops. Let's not do that. Nope. What's up, High Stepper? What's up, Buffalo? What's up, Azzy? Hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate that. Chris, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We're, I'm talking to Facebook and everything else at the moment right now. But we are currently trying to fix this up. I was froze, but fine now on Facebook. Copy the moving on YouTube. Okay. So we have bird meter number 1, bird meter number 2. I have all of these sample lines right here that's made on that one. I need to make the sample lines for this. And then if I've got time, which is very hopeful because I got a lot of stuff that needs to get done, then I'm going to go ahead and finish up these meters. I say it's hopeful because there's always something that comes up whenever you're working on stuff like this that keeps you from finishing. Last week, we had some problems. I had a, I don't know what it was, but something got me sick, messed me up, and made it where I couldn't get a lot accomplished. I got a little bit done on Tuesday, but Thursday was about a wash, and Monday was Labor Day, so it was a difficult last week. Still difficult this week, but we're making progress and moving forward. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take some Rg-400 real quick, put it in the shot. I guess I will turn the camera. It's not going to be the right angle, but it was whatever. You guys will see me. I've got to measure up some wire. So, what's up, Squatch? What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. If you guys got questions while we're working, feel free to ask. It does not hurt my feelings at all. We can talk about what I'm building, what the heck a sample line even is. I had a customer ask me specifically for something, so I'm going to go over that here in just a few seconds. I'm going to show you guys how to put a DC connector together, and then I'm going to spend a bit to show you guys how to put all the other type of connectors together. So I'm going to go look at my invoice real quick and make sure I don't screw this up royally, because you know what happens when you try to focus on your memory and then expect to get everything right. So let me pull up this invoice real quick, make sure I got the right length on this order. Yeah, I guess I will do that. So let me take a look real quick. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Yes, that one. Yep. All right. Yep, I would have screwed it up. So I would not have measured the correct length on this. And I am very grateful that I took the time and thought about it before I actually went through and did it, because that would have, I mean, it wouldn't have been awful, but it would have been very annoying. Let me grab my measuring tape real quick. I don't know where my measuring tapes are, but I own way too many to care at this point. So I'm just sticking 2 more measuring tapes of 2 different types over here. My little yellow ones that I like using so much, I don't know where they're at. I'm not going to be using that one because it's too short. So we'll measure this off and we'll talk to you guys. How much for the digital meters? $320 for the digital meters, $160 for the analog meters. So if you want the digital movements, I am selling the digital movements. I will have, or I do have them in stock. I've got a shipment. I've got a steady supply of them. Let's just say it that way. So I will have them. Let's just say if you guys want them, it'll be a bit before I can. I've got a couple other guys in front of you, so you will have to be in a small line, but you're talking like a 2-week line rather than a several month line. So if you want to get them, I do sell them. There's 1, 2. Let's cut number 3. So, let's line all these up, pull this all straight real quick. My floor is crazy dusty, man. That's nuts. If I ever suggest anything to anybody, do not get you a proper door threshold, and then do not throw down freaking oil dry and crap like that to keep water out of your shop. Just do a proper door threshold, because my gosh, it's probably I got that stuff everywhere, all over my shop. I'm gonna have to vacuum for a week to get it all up. But it makes my floor like crazy dusty. So let me put a piece of zip tie on this. Let's show you how that DC connector works. So we're going to build some sample line real quick for this bird meter setup. After I finish that sample line, we will start working on the bird meter. I've got to all right, set that right there. Sample line is right here. Is that attached? Yeah, that one's attached. Whatever. I'll show you guys how it works. So this is the DC connector. So we're going to turn this over here. Camera that way. Zoom in, something like that. Get the camera to focus somewhere over in the middle of the bench. Temporarily, we will shut these down because I don't need them on right now. I love how that little camera follows me around. I can move it here. What's that? Oh, I moved too fast. Sorry. Come back, buddy. See? Oh, it won't chase me over there because I got something in the way. There's a... all right. HDMI cable going to the monitor. What's up, Fig? What's up, Patu? Where I get original RF transistor in Europe. Something staff is not good. What are you saying? What do you want in Europe? What kind of transistor would you like? China stock. Whatever transistor you'd like, just let me know. I do have a lot of transistors and stuff that I have access to through my distributors. What's up, 447? Waving a hand. The digital meters. So, if you guys want to know, let's flip the digital meter on. I'm just going to pull the lid off temporarily for now. It don't look as pretty when I do that, but who cares? So, I got to find the shot. Yeah, we got the shot. It's good enough, right? So, we can push menu. We can go down to element. We can change our element type. We can select different element types. Let's just say the first element we want to use is a different element. So, we want to use scale right here. We want to change the magnitude. We want to move it to say So we got 1 watt, 10 watt, 100 watt, 1 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt, 100 kilowatt, and 10 milliwatt. So you got lots of different options as far as that goes. Let's just move it to a 10 watt slug right here, and then click use. So we can do that. So we have a 10 watt right here. We can go back to menu. We have a 10 watt, 100 watt, so on and so forth, right? We can go into measuring. We can change our unit type. We can change our peak hold. We can change our range. So on our range setting, we can go to 2x or 4x. So that means we have, keep this thing focused, we have a 2x and a 4x multiplier. So that means we can go 2x or 4x. We can go over to display. We can change the color, the view mode, and all that good stuff, blah, 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 blah. We can change how it's powered, all that stuff. That'll be all me later on. Work with the logs, the updates, we can reboot it and all that stuff. So you can tie in an interlock with it, so you can actually tell it to do 2 different types of interlocks. But we're going to change to measure right here. We can check unit type right here. We can change it linear or logarithmic. We can change it for SWR, return loss. We can check average for certain times. We can tell it for a peak hold time. Get off the menu. We can go over here for average, and we can go to PEP, and we can go to max. And we have minimum. So we have maximum and minimum for your average. I'll show you our deviation right there. Should be our insertion. I'm not sure what that one could be. Insertion loss, average, and peak. So average, peak, 2x, and 4x. So you have multiple different options you can actually choose for multiplication and for your levels. So yes, it has a multiplier and an average and a peak, both. Sub 1137, hope you're doing well, man. What's the width on the 3 meters unit? If you'd like to know a width, I guess we do have a measuring tape. The width is just under 12 inches. The height is just over 4 inches. The depth is, if you count the lip on the front, a little bit over 4 inches. It's not quite that deep because that depth is, of course, skewed because let's just say we measure the bottom. It's just I don't know, 3 1/4 or so deep if you don't count the lip. But a customer asked me this, so let's go ahead and show you guys real quick. So I'm going to show you guys a DC connector. So this is an already assembled DC connector. They want to know how to put one of these together, right? So let's take a pair of pliers real quick and another pair of pliers. I like these snap-ons so much, I might as well just get another pair of snap-ons. Or Nip-X, let's just say that one. It's not necessarily snap-on. All right. Let's just do this real quick since I can do this by hand. It ain't going to be tight. Unscrew this little knuckle right here. So can it focus? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to focus on me this close. Maybe. It got me in clear. It does not. It's picking up the background. So I'm going to try to tell it to zoom in and focus on my hands. See if I can get it to zoom in closer though. That's good enough. So I can look back here and you guys can see. So this thread's all the way down, right? This is what locks the shield into place right here. So we're going to pull this out. There is a little bitty center conductor that pops right into these springs right inside this connection. If I pull it out, you see how it's done. There's the body right here of this connector that makes contact. We'll pull this little O-ring out right here. So the O-ring goes over like this. This ring right here goes down, and it's a conical shape, so it goes down like this, and this shield wraps around that connection right there, right? And then from that point, this center pin right here, where this little bitty piece of copper is, it pokes right inside this connection into that spring. It just pokes right through it. So that's how these connectors go together. That's just a quick overview for a fellow who was interested and wanting to know. So if you look inside there, you can watch right now. If you look, I don't, you can't really see, but I can see the center conductor poking through that spring. So from that point, all I have to do is compress this connection all the way in. I'll push this connection all the way up to here. Line it up. And then thread it back in. Just like that. Locks it into place. You have to wrap your shield around that concave little edge. And that's the way it bites. And then just tighten it up. But yeah, that's how it works, just so you guys know. Next, let's get back to work on what we're actually doing. I just wanted to show you guys how that DC connector goes together real quick on the traditional connectors. I'm not a fan of them because I don't like the spring. So what I do is I take a different connector. So I will modify, let's spin this around backwards, might as well show you guys since I'm already here. I will modify a PL259 and I'll cut that connector down. So then I can take a dual line section like this, and I'm able to screw it in place right here. So it screws right into the DC connector right there. See how that sets up? You have to cut the center pin back and make that work. But I like it because there's no springs involved. That's typically what I will go for unless a customer just doesn't care and they just want the cheaper connector. Because it's not like it has to be like this big fancy contact point. Or anything like that. It just needs to be connected. I don't know if I like that or not. I know I don't like that. Let's do this. Good enough. That'll work. So now I've got to grab some ends for this. Let's zoom out just a smidge and let's talk to you guys. What's up from Houston? K5YNU. Hello, hello. 508 out of Keystone. 511 out of California. Highest ever. Appreciate you. 305. Hello, hello. Try to see if I can get everybody else's comments. Already said hello to 1137. Hey, what's up, controller? You always win with D-wins. He don't want. I gotta do that video. I've got 3 different clips. Controller done messed around and had some fun. He figured out we got a slogan on the shirts, right? He was paying attention. So, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 6 of those. Let's get to work while I'm talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That covers all of my connectors there. So, slogan on the back of the shirt. Let's zoom out real quick. Zoom, zoom, zoom. You can't see it, but it's you always win with D-wins. Or you always win with D-wins RF supply. Either one's fine. That's the slogan that was voted on. That's what you guys picked. I didn't pick it for myself. That's what you guys picked. So what I did was I made some shirts with that slogan on there, and I got some stickers over here somewhere. Oh no, they don't say it on the shirt, on the sticker. I need to do it with this. I need to put it on the sticker. But I made some slogans, and they're on the shirts. So it's got the front stuff. It's got the slogan on the back. So I figured I'd do something fun. I think I started it. I don't remember which key down. Maybe New Orleans. I'm not sure if that was the first one or not. I might have started it before New Orleans. But what I did was I said, anybody who comes up to me and says the slogan can win a hat or a shirt. And I'm only going to bring a couple with me because I'm going on a flight. And that, of course, is not super easy to get all that stuff on a carry-on. So, my carry-on and my check bag, that is. Because I have to carry all this camera equipment, too. So, that's about a nightmare and a half. So, I started that back in the first key down in at New Orleans. Then I kept it going throughout all the different other events that I went to this year. I kept it going in Joliet, kept it going in Jonesville. I'm going to keep it going in Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm going to be low on shirts in Gulfport. I will be restocked on shirts by the time the Wolfman swap meet starts up in October. I will have some more of those. I should have some hats, hopefully, before Gulfport, but I don't know. I'll try to see what I can do. But controller, long story short, controller came in and said hello and hopped in. Forgot what he was doing specifically. You get in if you listen in. What's up, Camouflage? Waving a hand. Appreciate you, young blood. Thank you, man. Controller said, I don't remember if he said it right away or what he said. Yeah, I think he just said it. He said it like maybe an hour into my live. He said, hey, do you win? He hollered at me from like, I don't know, 15, 20 foot away. I turned around and he said, you always win with D-Win. And I was like, okay, come on over, man. And I held him up a shirt and he walked on over and said hello, told everybody what they were missing and stuff like that. And I thought that was the end of it, right? That's the end of it. Like, cool. It's funny. It was great. He hollered at me from a long way out there. And here probably 20, 25 minutes later, controller done walked away. And he hollered at me, hey, D-Win. I looked back. You always, and he said it again. I said, what did I say? I don't remember what I said. I laughed that time. And then maybe another 15 minutes later, he hollered at me, hey, D-Win. And he said it again. And I said, you can't win twice. And he's like, aw. And then, what did he say? I think it was the third time, or that might have been it. But then son of a gun, probably 30 minutes later, hey, D-Win. I turned around, and he done got every single tag of one of them beside him. I don't know how many. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 people. I didn't mean to bring this many shirts, but I did. I already had them packed, so I'm like, oh, whatever. I brought the whole box because some of that was supposed to be packed for Gulfport. So here he did. Everybody in his little vicinity area said, you always win with D-Wins, and in a big old, like all in unison. So I started laughing, reached down and grabbed a big old pile of shirts and held them up, and they all started walking over. It was hilarious. So, yeah, then I've got a little clip of it that controller clipped out already, but I'm still trying to get my wife. It's going to be difficult for her because she's got to catch when controller first came in, which is easy because he came up to the camera, but then he's got to catch the 2 or 3 other instances that he hollered in the distance because it's I don't know, it's what makes it funny. And then of course the interaction at the very end. It was just, he had me tore up for about, I don't know, probably 30 minutes or so. I'm still laughing thinking about it now. But yeah, it was funny. He did a good job, man. I appreciate his support. Again, to you, controller. He's in here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still in here now, but thank you. I do appreciate the support, man. It's awesome. Yeah, I know. It's funny, right? I know several of you guys were hanging on the live and you guys got to see it, or guys who went back and watched the live. I know Facebook messed me up and split my live up in 2 things, but it's really hard for you guys to watch. Hey, what's up from Brazil? Hello, Eduardo, and thank you, Will I Am. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you, man. Heard Gulfport and saw Coax being made. Gulfport, Mississippi is the next event happening the 19th to the 21st in, of course, like I said, Gulfport, Mississippi. There's another key down happening down there, so I will be going down that way. It'll probably be the 20th when I head down. I'll be down probably the early morning on the 20th. I'll come hang out at the event center. There's not going to be a key down on the first day. It's just more of a meet and greet at the event center and stuff. Nothing happened. There's nothing happened at the hotel, so you can definitely stay at the hotel with the club if you really want to. But every time I've went, everybody's always been at the event center, so you don't really have to stay at that same hotel. It's a little bit different than the other key downs where they have like a goodie room and all that other stuff. All that stuff is at the event center. So Victoria, Texas, and Gulfport, Mississippi are both did something very similar. They had an off-site event that everybody went to every day. The way other key downs work is there is an off-site event on Saturday, but on Friday and Thursday, everybody hangs out around the hotel room, says hello to everybody, meets and greets. There's a usually like a ballroom or something like that. It's rented out so people can come and hang out and say what's up and check out the goodie room and stuff like that in the hotel. So it's a little bit more of a laid back thing, where a Gulfport is more definitely laid back for sure, but you have to go to the event every day. You don't just hang out and go to the bottom of your hotel room and then check everybody out and then run back to the hotel. It's about from the actual hotel that you stay at, if you're staying at the one listed on the flyer, it is about, I think 15 minutes away, something like that. But it's a pretty good event. And like I said, there'll be a key down on Friday. We got people coming from all over. I heard 63 hollering and saying he's coming out. Of course, Mike Tyson should be there. Eagle One will be there. So there'll be definitely several people there. I don't know who all's coming, but it should be a pretty good event. A little over an hour north of Gulfport. Would love to go. Well, I am going to post a flyer on my Facebook. So type in D-Wins RF Supply on Facebook, and I will post up a flyer, hopefully as soon as I get off this live, if I can remember. If I forget, I'm going to do it tomorrow, because I got several events I need to share. There's an event happening in San Francisco. I'm not going to be able to make the Jawjackers. It's October 3rd. And then there's also an event happening, like I said, Gulfport, Mississippi. And then there's the Wolfman's event in, I need my lighter. Give me just 1 second. It's fine to talk, but I have to talk and work at the same time. So let me find my lighter. I don't know why it's hiding from me. Normally I have it sitting right here. I have no excuse. My bench is a mess. It is what it is. There's there's no excuse there. It's just dirty. Do I got another lighter? I've got my torch right down there, but I usually have a lighter right here to light up my torch. I was looking for this thing the other day. I'm going to put this out of the way. Get this in a different spot. I don't even know what this is. Gulfport, Mississippi. There it is. I found it. It's literally sitting in front of my face looking at me. Hopefully it's not out of butane. If it is, we're going to try to use the spark from it, see if it works. That's funny. The little gimbal caught up and found me. That's hilarious. So, let's see if this spark is enough. Spark is not enough. Oh, there we go. It is enough. We're good. Gulfport, Mississippi, San Francisco Bay, and Carnesville, Georgia. Hey, YD8 ACD Risky from Indonesia. Hello, Risky. I don't remember the name of the event. It's going to be a blue flyer or a purple flyer, I believe. I'll be posting that, like I said, at the end of this live. So feel free to go to my Facebook and check it out. I can share it on TikTok, but I have to like make a little short video on it to put the photos on there, or at least add a sound to it or something. So if I get around to that, I will definitely try my best to do it. All right, so, but yeah, be on the lookout for that for today and tomorrow. Like I said, it's September 19th to the 21st, so you won't miss it if I don't post it today, but I'm going to do my best to try to get it on there because I need to post these flyers. I had a couple Hamfests I need to post, and I did not post one of them that was in, I don't know, Kentucky, Louisville, something. I missed the Louisville event. I was under the weather last week, so I didn't get everything. I didn't get on social media the way I wanted to. I tried to respond to customers and stuff, but it was too much. I had some crap going on. It was irritating me. I'm going to change the brightness on this so I don't look so tan. I had somebody telling me I was, the skin tone did not match the, the video. So we're trying to fix that real quick. I have what's called an ND filter on. It's a daylight filter, but I currently have 8,000 lumens sitting right above my head. So it's probably not the best thing for like cameras. I appreciate you, Well I Am. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, definitely do appreciate it for sure. All right. Hello. What's up? Samuel, how you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. We're working on, like I said, some sample lead. This looks like a Rg-400 coax jumper, but it's not going to be used as a coax jumper. It's going to be used as sample line. So that's the way it's going to set up. So hello from Indonesia, man. Hope you're doing well. We had a stomach bug going around here. No, it wasn't a stomach bug with me. It's you can see it a little bit. I don't know how to explain it. See it? I'm not sure if you can see that junk all over my arm right here. It was all over my hands. It's not really on my hands that much anymore. But yeah, it was, I mean, maybe you can see no, you can't even see it, whatever. But it was like, it was everywhere. And it's just, it sucks, dude. It sucks. I couldn't work. I couldn't squeeze anything. It just irritated my hands. Oh, it was not fun. So it did put me a little bit behind. Hopefully I'll be able to make all my deadlines the way I quoted. But I mean, you really can't quote for getting sick. It's just happens. I really don't like it. I'm not a fan of not working. It's just I like to meet my deadlines and get things accomplished when I say they're going to get accomplished, because that's just me. There's been, I would say, a half dozen orders that I haven't really met on my deadline the way I was supposed to. Currently, this one right here is overdue, but I actually messaged him a couple weeks ago, or yeah, a week and a half ago, and asked him how in-depth he wanted me to go on this, and he is willing to spend a little bit more time for me to go a little bit more in-depth on this. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time and make his super nice. I'm doing another gentleman up here. This technically is not his, but I'm going to treat it as his, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the meters out and put his meters in and take my meters out, and it'll help me get a lot faster on my orders. I intended on keeping one of these meter things just to show you guys and let you guys see how it works, set it up and hook it all up and all that good stuff. But I got too much going on. That's the easiest way to explain it, is I just got too much going on. I don't have the ability to do so. You guys want me to do all your stuff, so I can't do a display bench thing and be out for 2 days in the week last week and not get stuff done. Hello from Chile, XQ3YT. Hello, waving a hand. Hello from Serbia. Damjon T. Hello. Hope you're doing well. 210 Chicago, waving a hand. Number one mud duck in the south suburbs of Chicago. What's up, Bomo? Appreciate you, man. So we are, like I said, working on some sample line. This is all going to be for a bird meter setup. So it's going to go to the back of this bird meter. If I turn it around, you guys will see what I'm doing. So it's going to be remoted here, and here, and it's going to go into the side of the bird meter right here. So I'll show you guys how that works here shortly. But I'll let you guys look at the meters while we're working right here anyway. So we'll turn it so you guys can see what's going on. So we are working on some digital bird meters and some analog bird meters right down here. There are two different orders for two different people, but I'm working on them as one unit right now, just simply because I am trying to get all this stuff worked out. Yeah, I actually, I'm grateful to see everybody making these events. If you guys can make the event, I'm going to have, like I said, I'll have hats and I'll have some shirts and stuff at the events. If you guys can make it, if you say the slogan, which is on the back of the shirt, I can't zoom out right now. Let me zoom out. If you can say the slogan, which is on the back of the shirt, it's "You always win with D-Win's RF Supply." You can't see it. Whatever, good enough. Then what I will do, whoops. I wonder if that's autofocus. Is that focus? How does that work? I don't know what this thing is. I'm not sure. It's got another little thing on the lens, and I'm not sure if it's autofocus or if it's something different. So if I screwed up the camera shot, then I am not the cameraman, and it's my fault. But I don't want to take the blame, but I will. So what do we got over here? Let me go right here. How did I get into radios? I grew up in it. I had family in it. I have a whole nother business that deals with radios. My RF supply is a kind of a brainchild of me. I saw a need in the field. I saw stuff missing. People weren't getting stuff that they wanted, and I found a way to do that myself. So I started offering the service. So that's kind of how it came about. I was already doing it part-time since about 2015 or so. I was working off and on some larger pieces of equipment for a couple different stations. And then I said, well, if I'm doing it for them, I might as well can do it for everybody else. So that's what I started doing. Then I started building 1 5/8, 7/8. I'll show you whatever. I build 7/8 wire. I build Rg-218 wire. I build 1/2-inch hardline wire. I build 1/2-inch Teflon wire right there. I could build if I needed to. I don't really carry it much. I've got a little bit of LMR-400 left. It's not exactly LMR-400. It's a broadcast version. It's TWC or something. And then I build your 1 5/8 hardline. So all these are different types of coax that I build, along with the Rg-400 and Rg-393. So Rg-393 is going to be chop a piece out real quick. I didn't have one over here, so I'm gonna cut one, so I got one real quick. That's Rg-393 right there. So that's all the different coaxes. Not all of them, but that's just several of them that I can build and do build. Put that back over there for now. I also have braid and high voltage line and all kinds of other stuff that I do. And then tubes and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm an RF supply company. I sell parts. So I got transformers, tubes, high voltage board, standoff board, coax brackets, a guy wire, towers, everything. That's just what I do. But that's like I said, I grew up in the into radios, working on them. Grew up working on them, and just kind of got interested in it, enjoyed it, dug and applied myself, and learned more about RF theory than others did, and just learned what the terminology was, learned how everything worked, how resonant circuits are, what impedance, reactance, and resonance and all that stuff is, and then just kind of just dug into it. It was interesting to me. I liked it. I liked learning. So that's what allowed me to get where I am now. I have plenty more to learn, lots more that I need to be taught, lots more that I need to dig into and research. But I am very grateful to know what I know now. Thank you. Appreciate the flowers, man. Appreciate you guys. Okay, copy to terminate some RG6. I've done some of that too. I've terminated some RG6 before. Can the colors of the meters be different in different colors? I'd prefer green. No, I don't think they have an option. It's possible at some point in time in the future they will have colors. But there is not an option currently for a colored meter. So, sorry, not available at this moment. I will discuss it and see what I can make happen. But for now, most likely, there's a couple different ways to backlight an LCD. So you'll have a display that will have your units on it, and you'll have a backlight behind it. So you use what's called I think it's a translucent, is what you'd call it, little sheet with basically an LED strip in it. And that strip will have a light in it, and it has a big diffuser on the front. And that diffuser is what puts all the light and spreads the light out nice and bright across the screen right here. So it's possible you could change the backlight and put it into a different color. But currently that option is not available from the manufacturer. So could I modify it? Maybe. Am I going to? Absolutely not. I've got way too many other things on my hand right now. But I appreciate you hanging out nonetheless, Bryce and Will I Am and what is it, Sir, I believe it would be. Making sure I get it right instead of $IR. I went down to the wormhole of Rg-400 50J the other night. Holy cow, it's an expensive option. Yes, I do have some, several of those. You're talking about some air core with that series of wire. So air core, you have to inject that stuff with nitrogen. So it's not just buying the wire. You have to get a dehydrator or a nitrogen generator, one or the other. And if you don't, then it's less power handling than 1 5/8". So they make in rigid line up to a 9-inch rigid line. I actually spoke with the manufacturer of this of the rigid line just the other day. I was speaking to him about something else, and then I think it's up to 5-inch, I believe is what it is, in your air core. So anything larger goes to rigid line. So again, more questions. I am okay with those. You guys can ask about anything you like while I'm working. It keeps the conversation interesting, and you guys don't just have to watch me solder. We can talk about RF stuff. We can learn about RF theory. We can talk about the next events that are coming up and where they're going to be at. Like I said, there's going to be one in San Francisco Bay. There's going to be one in Gulfport, Mississippi, and there's going to be one in Carnesville, Georgia. So I will be at Carnesville, Georgia, and I will be in Gulfport, Mississippi. I will not be able to make it to San Francisco Bay this year. I'd love to, but I didn't make it to Portland this year. I didn't make it to San Francisco Bay, and I didn't make it to Los Angeles this year. There are a couple West Coast events that I would like to make it in the future, but as of now, I am thus far been prevented. 7 Lagos, thank you. Appreciate you for the follow. Appreciate you, man. 9-inch, what's the capability is that? Probably around 1.2 or 1.5 megawatts is what it can handle. I think it might be a full 2 megawatt. I can't remember, but I think it's 1.2 to 1.5 megawatts is what 9-inch can handle. So there's not a whole lot of megawatt stations in the United States, but there are a few. One of the main ones being what's called a VLF station. VLF station there's a couple of them around the United States. One is stationed in, I think it's Bangor, Maine, I believe is what it is. It is the United States over-the-horizon radar system that allows us to distinguish the difference between a ship and a wave. It is a very high-powered RF system. I'm pretty sure it's what it is. I think it's over-the-horizon radar is what it's called. I'm not 100% sure. This is old research. It's been a minute since I've looked to see what that station actually does. But it is VLF. Very low frequency. You're talking about antennas that are like 300 or 400 foot tall. If not, I think they're like 14 or 1500 foot for each antenna. I don't remember. It's very, very, very long. They are gigantic, the array. I think the whole site is at least 100 or a couple hundred acres. Again, old information. Look it up for yourself. Look up VLF, Bangor, Maine, I believe is where it's at. And there's a whole Wikipedia on it. Appreciate you, Will I Am. It's No, the woodpecker was a jammer in Russia, is where that was at. It was really on the edge of Russia. I think it's either right on the border of Ukraine or in Ukraine, or it could be Kazakhstan. I don't remember. But it was it was pointing towards Europe, is what it was. And it was just, like I said, it never officially announced as such, but it was basically just a jammer that was applied across a pretty wide range of frequencies, and it was from the USSR. So the woodpecker is different. There's also a multi-megawatt array in the HARP stations. Mohammed, we're working on some Rg-400 currently right now. So I am doing some bird meter sample lines, what I'm doing. So if you flip to the back of this, I've got this meter modified to be able to take regular UHF PL259s, and then we're going to go over to a bird line section. I'll show you guys how I do that here shortly as soon as I get it finished building. Hopefully that all came up in the shot. Yeah, I know, man, it's wild. The thing I respected the most, I suppose, out of all the stations out there, was there was several Voice of America stations, and those things were awesome. They were very large. I know one of them in Greece used what's called a 4CV 250,000B. You call it valve over there. We call them tubes. But it was a very, very large RF device. 26815 is going to be some sort of data packets. It would be data transfer. It's not going to be the woodpecker, though, I don't believe. It'll be something else. There's a lot of copycats out there, and there are definitely plenty of data transmissions going on, legally and illegally otherwise, all throughout. There's going to be even more data packet transfers in the future due to guys wanting to do crypto over the air. So there's going to be encrypted transmissions over the air. I don't know what frequencies those are going to be on, but there's definitely, you're going to hear more of it all over the different frequencies. It's just part of it. More questions. What's your opinions on people using music boxes? If you use the music box and you weren't irritating people, I don't have a problem with it. I don't care what you want to use. But if you do it to intentionally interfere, it's just like anything else. Just don't be a jerk. I believe anybody should be allowed to operate whatever they want, wherever they want, however they want. I don't really believe in this big set of rules and regulations unless somebody is intentionally interfering. Blanket rules for everybody just because some people decide to be stupid don't make sense. If there's some people that decide to be stupid, then crack down on the stupid people. Don't make a rule for everybody who didn't do anything wrong. So it's just kind of wild. It's like, say there's 2 accidents a year, and 2 accidents a year are super dangerous or something like that in an area. But this area is known for people going fast, right? These people are like, say, the tail of the dragon or something like that. And all of a sudden, the tail of the dragon, this big curvy area, it's got 25-mile-an-hour speed limit zone and all kinds of other stuff, right? Going all the way through the winding mountains and stuff. But there's people come with their supercars, and they come with their motorcycles, and they come with all kinds of stuff for the full intention of speeding through there as quickly as possible. And even sometimes they have like a time trial event to try to make it through there. Even though it's illegal to do so, they do it anyway, right? So they lower the, I think they probably already did, but say they lower the speed limit to stop speeders, right? Sure. Well, here's the problem. The other guys who were not speeding or not driving dangerously through there, but they might have drove at 45 instead of 25. Now you just massively reduce the speed limit through the whole area to punish everybody because some people are driving through there stupid. There's definitely people who can be safe and do things in a safe manner and not bother anybody else and not impede anybody else's traffic. And there's other guys who are not responsible. But it's just, like I said, I have a hard time with punishing the multitude for what the minority do. I have a bit of an issue with that. I'm definitely against more of a government overreach kind of situation where everything is bureaucratic and all there is just a bunch of rules and regulations just because a regulation to cover this rule, to cover that rule, to cover that rule, because they made a rule back in the day about this rule. So I find that stuff ridiculous. But now, if there's an idiot out there, I really believe in community self-policing in situations like that. If there's somebody that's going to be an absolute moron, let the community handle it. Call the local police if you needed to, or just go handle it and make sure they're not doing it anymore. I don't condone violence or any situation like that, but people did. They handled their own business back in the day. But now everybody wants to cry and call the police, and the police can't do anything. It's a civil matter. So when you try to have a civil matter handled by the police, you can't do anything about it. You have to handle it in a civil way. So music boxes, I don't care as long as they're used in a way that's kind of like halfway reasonable. And if you want to do make a music channel where everybody just plays music on the channel, go there. I don't care. Like, there's certain channels with HF frequency. Was it 7800 or some crap like that? And then 3840. I don't even remember what the heck they are. But there's dumb people all day long on those channels. But rather than dealing with those people, just move to a different frequency. Let them be stupid over there. It's not like if there's enough people being stupid, you'll just have a channel where there's stupid people. Rather than, oh no, let's block the entire band down and put rules on everybody just because some people are stupid. I don't know. That's just my opinion about the matter. Now, of course, I believe there's always room for some rules and some regulations, but I believe just the way we got it now, where we've got, say, 1,500 watts, the legal limit on HF, and where we got 4 watts, the legal limit on CB and stuff like that, I think that stuff is about the most asinine and stupid freaking rule set ever, because you're not helping anybody. You're not benefiting a single person. If you wanted to benefit people, you would regulate spectral purity. Thank you, Son of God. Appreciate your blessings. Thank you. Alex, God bless you right back, Son of God. Appreciate you, man. I'm not sure. Alexander, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you, man. What's up, Dumaine? Waving a hand. Hope you're doing well. Like I said, there's a whole soapbox I can go on how I believe things should be handled. I think spectral purity should be managed a bit more, but not outright power. I think if somebody can operate a clean station, they should be able to operate whatever they want to operate. I don't care if you're on HF, if you're on any other frequency, it doesn't matter what it is. Now, when you start getting on congested frequencies, I think, sure, there should be a little bit more things to be said. Okay, at that point, we need to make sure that there's just not an overwhelming amount, like say on broadcast bands, we've got 99 or 89 megahertz all the way up to 105 or something megahertz, right? That's their frequency set, their frequency allocation. If there was an RF radio station every single half mile and there was no cost to set up that station and no real rules or anything and regulations on those stations, then of course you'd have bleed over from one station to the other. But again, if you regulated just simply the spectral purity, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal as long as they didn't interfere with other areas. But it's all about money. If you don't pay for your registration in that specific area, there's only a certain amount of mileage that they would rather you speak. If you start coming, like WLW back in the day, they started coming over New York and the northeast corner and stuff like that in the evening times on the AM stations. It was a 500 kilowatt station, and all the stations up there, the local stations, complained because WLW would wash out their stations because they're, of course, 500 kW, and they're operating from the middle of the United States and covering a large swath of the entire United States. Yeah, there's of course within reason, and they were intentionally taking those other markets from the northeast corner. But they put the investment in, they did the infrastructure, and the other companies didn't. So at the same time, I do say that there's a bit to be defended there. Now, if they went intentionally on those other frequencies and started interfering and intentionally on the frequencies that somebody else was operating on to cover them up, yeah, that's a little bit much. But let's say the government allocates, say, the northeast corner for operation, and then they allocated the Midwest for operation on the same frequency. I think that is a little bit of an overreach more by the FCC than by the actual radio stations, because now they're trying to tell you can only operate in a certain amount of area, so there's a limit on your distance you can talk, not just a limit on your frequency. And that, I think that really goes beyond the border of fairness. But again, that's government overreach. Let's just, I'm not a big time like against the government type of person, but I don't like big government stepping in and everywhere. So we're working on some sample line for some a bird meter setup right here. We've got to be able to hook up the sample line. Loose wire Jerry from Illinois. Yeah, I do know loose wire Jerry from Illinois. Actually had I know a fellow who sold him some equipment back years ago. I believe it's the same loose wire. I'm pretty sure he was running around in an RV last time I heard about him or spoke with him. Got me a good base station. There's a lot of stuff you could get. Depends on what frequency you want to operate on. Give me just 1 second. Let me look and see how far this is. Below that ridge. Uh-oh. Why is that battery that low? Plug in the computer. All right, so we're going to have to reset something, so it might mess up my internet. Hopefully not. I'm going to complain if it does, but we're going to do this real quick. Give me just a moment. Thing's getting... It's not getting too hot. We're going to... Says it's charging. We says we're good, but I'm going to move to a different charger and, well, I'm going to try to run it off this charger. Let's just try to run it for a while. All right. Well, it didn't reset my stuff. Tell me if my internet is still working. Our camera has failed. It will be back shortly. Give me just a moment. My little camera is messed up too. I will reset it real quick. All right. So let me go back over to this. Gimbal self-check failed. Got it. Let's try to reset. Do I have to unplug it and replug it back in? It looks like I'm going to have to, so that's fine. Whatever, we'll just deal with it. Give me just a second. This camera is not connected, so I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. So now, this is a little bit more work for me, but it is what it is. I don't really care that much. All right, that camera did reset. We're all good. Gimbal's good to go. So gimbal's back on me. All right, yeah, it's not working. Okay. All right, is it charging? If it's not charging, we got some problems. So I gotta see. 6% remaining. Plugged in. I don't like this. Okay, so we're having something happen with my charger. Give me just a second. So, this is risky. So I don't like risky stuff. So I'm going to go back to a safe bet. Give me just a second. Let me hook this up on a different charger. $85-watt charger, but I'm plugging it up on a 140-watt charger now. So now it should have no excuse of being powered properly. Let's get that booger to zoom in on me. That's good. Now let's reset this other camera and get it to go again. Sorry, I'm getting this figured out. Give me just a minute. I'm getting there. So last thing I want to do is kill the entire live over some stupid charger problem. Alright, I'm back over here. We're good. This camera's still not back, so I need to go over here and reconnect it. That is not the correct camera. That's the wrong camera I just unplugged. So I need to unplug this camera right here. So it looks like I might have a problem right here, and I don't know if I can fix it. So I need to temporarily grab this. I went ahead and reset the other camera real quick. It'll come back on just a second. So I'm working on a USB hub right now, right? So this hub is for whenever I go live and do all my events and stuff like that. I've got 2 different HDMI cables hooked up, so I added a whole nother monitor to this, and it should be back now. Let me check and see if my camera and everything's back. So it is not back yet. So let me look right here. This says it's back. We're good there. So let's go over to this. What does this say? Sources, right there. Click properties. We will change that to just something random. Oh, let's move it to a virtual camera. It'll point up at my nose. See my chin? Now we'll move it back to the virtual camera. There we go. Back on that. We're good to go. So what I'm going to do real quick, give me just a moment. It's stopping my live, but I'd rather waste 5 minutes doing this than I would have the whole thing shut down. So I'm playing a risky game. I'm wetting a rag. So what's going on right here is this whole assembly is getting hot. I'm charging it at 90 watts. I've got multiple devices hooked up. Each one of those devices require power. I require power for the computer and everything else. So it's a lot to ask of that device. And I don't know. I don't know. This is experimental. I just added a whole nother monitor into the mix because I figured out I was having some other problems with the other hookup that I had. So I might pay the price today, and this thing might just die on me randomly, but we will see. HE9HDH. Hello, hello. Waving a hand. Yeah, Jeff, just message me and I can give you some suggestions on all the different base station stuff you'd like. For whatever frequency that you'd like, I can give you suggestions for any of them, whether it be for HF, whether it be for VHF, UHF, or just regular CD stuff. If you want suggestions, I can give you suggestions. All right. So, yeah, I already responded about loose wire. Sorry, long detour for fixing this system real quick. I gotta see if it's still taking a charge. Is it charging up? 11%? Yes! All right, cool. It is now caught up. I believe it was the charger that I was using is not a full actual 87 watts like it claims to be. So I put it up on the 140 watt charger and we are doing better now. So is it focused? I need to look at a business card and see if it's focused on a business card. Can you read all that? Yes, you can read all that. So it is focused properly. So we're good. I'll leave it over there. You guys can, if you guys want to message me, you guys can message me on D-Win's RF Supply. You can also go to my Facebook. That's the little barcode to find. Wait. That's the barcode. Well, I'll just leave it back here. That's the barcode to find my Facebook. But yeah, and that's the website, dwinsrfsupply.com. So back to work. I got things to do. Ow, man, freaking. It still hurts my hands to like do like heavy tasks and like rub really hard against something and like jerk around tight corners and stuff. It's still sore. So questions. Ask anything you like. If you guys would like to know about RF theory, if you want to know about other stuff, just let me know and I will try to help you and answer your questions. I've got plenty of YouTube questions. I got plenty of TikTok questions, but where are my Facebook questions? What are you guys saying over there? So I'm going to move over to this monitor over here. Click that one. Wow. Bomo was the last one to speak. Well, if you guys got questions on Facebook, I appreciate you guys. But if not, then by all means, just hang out and let's talk some more. Let's get to work. Direct fed beam. Could a fellow still cruise the 3CX2278 CLX or inch copy? No, you could do it. It's fine. So with 7/8 you can do that just fine. So yes, you'd want 7/8 EIA flanges. So this is an 1 5/8 EIA flange right here. I don't know if it came in the camera or not, but it looks like that. 7/8 is going to be a 3-bolt version. It'll look very similar. I got one. Oh. Right down here. And that's what a 7/8 EIA flange looks like right there. This is not 7/8. This is 7/8 EIA flange. This is actually for 1/2 inch is what that is. But yeah, I have flanges for all. All right, back to what I'm doing. What's up, Tony? Waving a hand, man. Now simplify and explain bandwidth selection on SDR setup, basic setup dongle on a PC. Yeah, I can. I've got an SDR set up right over here. So if you guys will look, not really closely, not like I'm trying to hide it or nothing. So I've got a couple different setups. I got an HF setup, and I also got a regular little 10-meter CB setup. So this is a non-Apache Labs 7000 DLE. This is my Kenwood HDX 950 or SDX 950. And then we'll go over here to this monitor. I'm going to minimize YouTube, exactly where the question is. Hang on, let me get back over here. Where is the daggum? Oh, there it is, right there. I'm going to minimize YouTube, and we'll zoom out just real quick. I'll go over it shortly, as quickly as I can. You guys can see my little homemade cooling rag over here. There's wires everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. I'll show you anyway. So, it depends on what frequency set you want to go on. You can do all kinds of different stuff. So you've got your main frequency that you got set right now. I got it up set on a CB frequency right here. You can set it up on any other frequency that you want. If you look closely over here, you've got ZTB, which is zoomed to the band. You got 0.5, you got 1x, you got 2x, and you got 4x. So you can, let's just modulate. So I'm keying into a dummy load, so it don't really matter. But I don't know if I'll have enough signal to show you guys, but whatever. I'll see if it'll show you. So yeah, you can see a very small signal right here that shows up right there on the center, just dead center to the band. So if I wanted to get closer and tighter, what I would do is I would go over here to say 1x, 2x, or 4x. And I can see I am slightly to the left of that frequency. You guys can see it on the mouse, maybe slightly. Let's move this out of the way and hook this way up here. So maybe you'll see a little bit better. I can't move all these cables out of the way. It's just, this is not set up for me to show you guys how an SDR works. But whatever, I'll show you right there. So you get different bandwidths. You can zoom in if you wanted to play with your controls. So I can display, I can expand it. So right now I use noise block. I like to use that. I can use my audio settings because this is actually a transmit and receive. But if it's receive only, you would change some of your settings. You got your AGC gain over here, your RF gain, your master AF, and a few other things over there. Of course, if I wanted to get off the 11-meter band and I wanted to jump into a different frequency, I would just type in whatever I want. If I want to go 28.4, I can go 28.4. If I want to go 3.8 megahertz, I can go to 3.8. Doesn't matter, whatever you wanted to do. So that's a little bit of how an SDR works. I cannot get into the full details because I'm not set up for that. At some point in time, I will zoom in and we will have an SDR discussion if you guys demand it. If it's something you guys would enjoy, we will have fun with it. But for now, let's get back on Coax. General bandwidth where you can hear the world band range radio signal and then tune. No, there is not a general bandwidth where you can zoom out that far to be able to see an entire spectrum. You just have to kind of pick and scroll the bands. I don't know if there's a scan band feature. I have not played with Thetis too much. Somebody else might know. But yeah, just pick a frequency and play with it. Learn what frequencies are for what and what benefits they are. And then just get in on them and just talk, start listening. If you want to learn a little bit more how they work, go to Kiwi SDR, I believe is the website. And you can look up Kiwi SDR and see multiple different frequencies at multiple different bands. and they're all over the US. So you can play with their settings, and I think their settings will lock you in and keep you from screwing them up. So you can kind of maybe, hopefully, I think you can read their settings. If you can't, then maybe it'll just help you get used to scrolling through the bands on an SWR that is currently, on an antenna that's currently working. Because they have an antenna that will work across all different bands and work just fine. Why is the game? Come on, buddy, you can do it. Thank you. So I would check out QBSDR, scroll through the frequencies, see how the receiver works, see how the volume and all the different settings work, and play with it. Then you'll be able to hear active frequencies and then go from there. Hey, no problem, Brian. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully it helps. I'm not an SDR man myself, not too much. I do have like an Apache Labs over here, but yeah, let me know. All right, so back to work. What did I do that for? Oh, I know what I need to do. I can't do that. So whenever I have a cut end, I can't go to the cut. I have to go to what the actual length should be typically, and then I will cut it after. That is not, that will bite you in the butt real quick when you're building your shield after you've cut that center conductor. SDR is definitely a different animal. It's a software defined radio. That means you have a software option for every single feature. So there's a lot of different things you can do to screw it up. There's a lot of different things you can do to have fun with it. You can also EQ it and do all kinds of different stuff with an SDR. So definitely enjoy it. Have some fun. Like I said, go to QBSDR and check and see how they work. Check out YouTube and check out what's called Thetis, Thetis, Thetis tutorial. And then you may consider downloading Thetis for your specific SDR. That way you can get on a platform that's familiar with what a lot of other guys are familiar with. You can also just type in SDR play tutorial or whatever other SDR you have and see if you can find a tutorial video on that. But I would probably suggest, if you have the ability, to kind of think about moving over to Thetis anyway, because that'll be a universal software, whether you got a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 SDR rig, and I don't know what, $7,000 or $8,000 brand new, or whether you got a $100 little dongle that you're hooking up from a computer. It doesn't matter. It would work the same way. Thetis has what do you call it? Plugins or options to do different stuff on all different ones. What's up, Red Dog 1000? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. You're awesome. If you guys got questions, you guys want to talk about more RF stuff, it does not hurt my feelings to holler at you guys and talk to you guys about it. Don't feel like you guys are a bother, because I've got to do this work regardless. Let me zoom this camera back in. I think I was zoomed out. Bump it up. That'll be so you guys can see what's going on. And alright, so there we go. I shouldn't have did that just yet. That was my fault, but I'll see if I can get away with it. I'm not sure if I can. So sorry, I'm just working a little bit harder at this because I did something out of order. So I don't need all this extra material here, but I am definitely going to do this real quick. There we go. So this is going to be a little bit harder for me because, like I said, I screwed up and took it a step further than what I should have. So now I'm going to have to use like 3 hands to do several different things all at once. All right, that worked out great. Not perfect, but that was my fault because of what I did. So, sorry I didn't look at you guys' questions. What's up, Frankie? Hey, Frankie, I did your video earlier. Sorry. It's at the beginning of this live. So go back and click the live and watch the first 10 minutes, and it will show you how the DC contactor goes, or connector goes on the original. So I will try to do what I can to clip it if I can remember and pull it out and put it on like a little short form video. But if you want to see it quicker, then definitely check it out at the beginning of this live, when this live is over. What causes issues with electronic devices in the house, like refrigerator, pellet stove, washing machine? That is a EMI and RFI protection, usually from the devices that are being affected. It also can be harmonics from a radio also. You got IMD that can come in, intermodulation distortion, and you got your adjacent channel that can come over, things like that. It's pretty critical to make sure your radio, whatever radio equipment you got, I don't care if it's a Yaesu, I don't care if it's a Kenwood, I don't care if it's a Cobra or an export style radio, whatever. Doesn't matter what it is, get it checked out on the spectrum analyzer, and that'll fix a lot of stuff. Copy Red Dog, copy Learning, and getting into Skip. Did I start in CB band? Start not stereotyping, but a lot of RF hobbyers do. I'm just now getting into ham. I've dealt with all forms of the hobby. I started out with commercial super early on. And then before that, I started out, yes, I did start out with some CB stuff and CB equipment and things like that. And then I just turned into a supply company. So I do stuff for CB guys, ham guys, commercial guys, all sorts of guys. I don't care who they are. It's cool. Hey, he got it. Gary, he got it. He said, thank you, man. He said he appreciated it. I told him to tell, he called me on the phone and I told him that it came from you. I'm not sure if he's got your number or anything, Gary, but he did receive your hat. So thank you, Gary. Appreciate you. Gary won the giveaway a couple weeks back and gave a hat to his local neighbor because he already won the giveaway another time the week before. Skip is wild. Meters. Yeah, I got a few meters. This is just a few of my meters that I have available. So I got meters over here. We got meters over there. Meters up there, and then we got meters here, here, and here, and then I've got about 10, I don't know, 5 or probably more than that, maybe probably 5 or 6 at least other panel mount rack meters that I have not fit on that shelf because I don't have enough room. I think I'm going to get rid of a TV and put the TV up taller or something. It's kind of annoying because I really like the TV for where it is so I can respond to you guys' comments and stuff. That's usually what I'm over there looking at, a television. Bit by 1,000 watt CB amp when it was TXing in his lap. Yeah, it could, RF can get you, RF can get anything, but RF is just local area heating. So what it's going to do is it'll take the epidermis and it won't do nothing to it. But it'll go into the dermis, which is a living tissue right up underneath that, and it'll burn that. So it burns you from, a lot of people say it burns you from the inside out. That is not true. It hits the first layer of living tissue and burns that. So it takes anything that's got water molecules in it, and it burns it. So at a lower HF, say 30 megahertz and below, there is very little like heating that happens at any sort of distance. It's very, very localized. You have to make physical contact pretty much for it to do anything. When you get up into like 400 megahertz, you can modify stuff and get it to start affecting things like a microwave would. But that's just for local area heating. That won't even do anything to the internals. All that doesn't do, it burns from, like I said, from the outside in for the first layer of living tissue or the first tissue that has water on it. I have a snazzy suit for these brakes. Some fellas dress pretty fancy. Look, I have one announcement to make. I'll take my trophy and I will not give it up. This is my trophy. So if you see it right there, I wore a snazzy suit one time and got a nice big trophy one time, but I don't think I'll be bringing a suit back to every event because I only own one suit. So it's a one-hit wonder. So I did do that. There is a photo out there of me getting best dressed, but I would, and there's a whole video on there too. But that was just, like I said, it's not my, I don't try to buy a bunch of suits. I'm not a suit person. I'm a shorts and a t-shirt guy throughout the summer with some flip-flops. And in the wintertime, I'll wear blue jeans and I'll wear some boots pretty much all year long. And then I'll have maybe some, usually button-ups on. Appreciate you, Gary. Thank you, thank you. Myrtle, thanks for the follow. Thank you. I appreciate that. RF theory earlier radio is very interesting to me. I'm self-teaching. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Thanks for that, High Stepper. Appreciate you, man. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this real quick. I need to get another where? There it is. But yeah, a lot of events. Not this one in Mississippi that's come. Well, yeah, not this one in Mississippi coming up, but Joliet, they had one. Greenville, South Carolina, West Palm Beach, Florida. All those events will have the best dress competitions, stuff like that. Longest travel, they'll give trophies for stuff like that. They'll have like a 50-50 raffle. They'll have all kinds of other stuff for people to enjoy, just to make it fun for everybody. Like the video if you like the information. Heck yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you guys like this stuff, definitely pop a like out there. I appreciate you guys nonetheless, one way or the other. It is absolutely appreciated. TikTok is definitely a little bit more of a, what do you call it? They're a little bit more particular with me on their stuff. So they kind of make me, what is it? Where's Facebook at? Where'd it go? There's Facebook right here. So they're a little bit more particular. They want you to tap the screen before it really weighs anything on the For You page and stuff. So if other people are to see it, then definitely you guys sharing it would help a lot. And also you guys liking the video would help a lot. A lot of guys have done things like giving me gifts and stuff like that. I do appreciate the gifts, but I don't need them at all. If anything, you guys sharing the content out to more people and getting more people into the hobby, whether it's the CB hobby, whether it's the ham hobby, or ham radio hobby, whether it's getting the commercial guys into these videos and checking them out and enjoying them. I don't care. It's for everybody, man. That's what I really enjoy about this. It's just bringing the RF community together. I've got tower climbers that come into my videos. I've got broadcast engineers that's coming into my videos. I had who just, hey, what's up, Mickey? Appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. I know you got an early day tomorrow, so thank you for hanging out. I appreciate your company, man. It is. I appreciate you watching. Oh, like a dummy, I did it again. So this is what happens whenever I get a little ahead of myself. It's not like it's that bad, but it irritates me. So I'm going to try to see if I can do this. I know I can't. It ain't going to work. I'm going to get a piece of 393 and do it. I ain't doing it right now, though. But yeah, like I said, TikTok, it kind of weighs that stuff for some reason. I don't know why. It's just part of it. So I do appreciate it when you guys share it. I appreciate you guys when you like it, and I appreciate you guys when you tap the screen and stuff, and when you guys follow. That's awesome. I had several guys, or not several guys, but I had a few guys follow me earlier. Sorry, Ashley, I do not do like box rebuilds and things like that. I can try to give you some suggestions on some people to go to. I do have a fellow. Yes, I will be in Gulfport next week. So anybody who's coming to Gulfport, Mississippi, I will see you guys there. I'll be in Gulfport, Mississippi on the 19th through the 21st, and I will be giving some more hats and shirts out. So I don't typically do a bunch of these cut-ins. I've done them. Actually, I've done several of them, but I have no excuse. Whatever. I just forgot. I did it again out of habit. So typically, whenever I'm doing my normal ends on the other side, I will go ahead and cut my insulator back, my dielectric back. And I messed around and did that right here, and I didn't need to do that yet because I want this heat shrink to go on a very specific way. And it makes it a lot harder for me to do it when I don't have the dielectric to be able to serve as a guide for my heat shrink to go down. So very annoying, but it's my own fault for doing it. All right, that worked out great. I said that a while ago, but it worked out good this time too, so I'm happy. It could have been a lot worse. I could have had to redo it. So, not too bad, not too bad. So, again, this was supposed to be my own, but I am doing something a little bit different, and I'm kind of just modifying this for a customer. And I was going to do 3 of these sets, but I got sick last week, and it really screwed me up. So, I am forsaking myself and and getting the next batch of customers out the door. So I've got several things that's got to get going. Not like they're in like gigantic rushes or anything like that, but I try to meet my deadlines, and whenever I get knocked out a week, it definitely messes me up when I'm only quoting 2.5 weeks for my whole deadline. So I got to catch up. All right. Get this thing finished up right here. What kind of competition? It is a key down. So a key down is a communications competition / drag race. That's what I call it. So basically you'll take and line up 2 different stations. They're typically a mobile station. Sometimes they'll have walkie-talkies and stuff like that. Over in Thailand, I believe, or Indonesia. I believe it's Indonesia. They have the walkie-talkie ones where they'll have like they'll have a desk set up, and they'll be talking to a receiving station, and they'll be yelling in the microphone, seeing who can beat the other one. Over here in the U.S., a lot of times it's mobiles. You'll have Suburbans, you'll have vans, you'll have multi-antenna setups. They'll line up at a light. They'll have between like a 350 motor all the way up to a 600 plus cubic inch motor, and they will take those motors and put multiple alternators on them, and they will compete in different classes. You got 2 device class, 4 device class, 8 device, 16 device, so on and so forth. And then you will go up into the AC classes where they regulate it by the alternators. 1 alternator, 2 alternator, 3 alternator, and then AC Sky. So Sky's the limit, is the highest class. And they will go to a light. For the AC classes, is it 15 seconds on every single AC class, Mark? Or is it only, was that just this past event? Because I don't know why I got it in my head that it was 10 seconds for every single key, but I did not remember that it was 15 seconds for AC. If it's always been that way, that's just my head not paying attention. Yeah, okay, so it's always been 15 seconds. Yes, I test the cable for dB loss. I test the cable for attenuation. I test the cable for phase angle. I test the cable for everything. How you doing, Fuji? What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. So we are currently working on some birds right here. This is, we're doing the digital bird meter, and, well, I guess you guys can't see it. Let's scoot the camera over just a smidge. Boop, boop. We're doing digital bird meter setup and a regular analog bird meter setup. So you guys will get to have some fun with all that stuff. So I'm going to touch a little bit of solder here. I got to do this 6 times. Touch a little bit of solder over here. Oh, I can't repurpose that. I'll speak to the customer and see if I can repurpose it. If I can't repurpose it, I'll just be building 3 different bird meter setups. I don't care. I'd have to look and see. I might have quoted it, but I don't think I did. So I thought I was going to get smart, but I got to do this anyway. Whatever, it's part of it. I'm still I still got some shipments coming in for several more parts. I've got to work on some 1/2-inch hardline coming up super soon. I'll be working on that. I've got some more 1/2-inch flex orders that's going to come up. I got to get them things underway. I've got several more Rg-400 jumpers that I got to get done. Those will all be done here in the next bit, a little bit. I've got to get finished with this bird meter setup here. I will look at my list to see what order that is in, but we will pay attention to it as we go. So here we go. Let's heat this booger up. You got to watch. Let me zoom real quick. Hang on a second. Zoom. Ain't like I can zoom a lot, but back, camera down, camera over, camera up. If you watch closely, you'll watch this joint. Let's see if it's, I can't tell if it's focused for crap, so I got to look at a, yeah, that's very visible, so it should be fine. 000 Fireball, Mannington, West Virginia, waving a hand, man. Sorry, understand the race. Yeah, they line up next to each other with a light phi. Man, I used to know how to say Nigwin. Nigwin. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. I got a friend named Van. He's got the same name, and I'm terrible with it. I know it's Vietnamese, or some of it is. I've got something. If you go to my TikTok and you go to my pinned video, just click Shorts and click the pinned video, and you'll see the key down at the very top. And you check out the next 2 videos, and you'll meet some of the people. And the next video below that, you'll see a short explanation. So my top 3 videos will tell you all about key downs over here on this page right here. It's D-Win's RF Supply on TikTok. Those are the top 3 videos there. If you guys can see it on Facebook and stuff too. There is a popular video there. I haven't pinned any videos on Facebook. If I can figure out how to, I probably will. And on YouTube, I don't think I have anything pinned either. But you'll have to dig back and look for Suburban videos. If you look through every video on my shorts on YouTube or TikTok or anywhere, look through it and you will see videos with Suburbans. If you see a video with a Suburban, watch it, and it will explain even more about key downs. If you go to this past month, you'll see a video of 6-packs. 6-pack. We did an interview with 6-pack, and we showed his Suburban off there too. So you guys would get to see that one if you went back on my shorts and looked back. Or my, I don't know what you call it on TikTok. My TikToks? All TikToks are TikToks. They're the same short videos. Yeah, feel free, man, for sure. There's that event's coming up in September, at the end of September. How many feet are those I'm working on? These are not Coax jumpers. These are used for sample lines. So I'm going to be using these for this bird meter setup right here that's behind you. So these specifically are like, I think I'm just doing some 8-footers right here. They could be any length. It just depends on whatever length somebody wants to use. flip this over, move on to the next. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 are done on that one, so I'm going to clean it up real quick while it's hot. We want to knock all this rosin core off the inside right here. As a boater, I used Rg-9, much thicker for lower frequency. Yeah, for sure. There is Rg-6 that's used a lot. Rg-11 is used a lot in other frequencies. Rg-9, I don't hear about it too much. We use, for VLF and stuff like that, we'll use this stuff for the same VLF, for HF, for everything, really. I think you would be using a shorter antenna, but higher frequency, like around 160 megahertz or so. This is also used in the aircraft and like aeronautics and aviation, so this is used a lot of times in stuff like that. It could work on those frequencies. It's just not typically used. If you've got like a more sealed cable, more weather sealed, weatherproofed, a lot of times they'll take some of your DB wire, your direct burial style cable, and they will use it because it's got a gel coating inside of it a lot of times and be sealed for a lot of bad weather usage. You can't do this on any other cable other than this tile cable right here. You can do this on this in Rg-393, Rg-142, Rg-178, Rg-303, and my 1/2-inch Teflon wire. Any other wire, and you will put too much heat on it, and you'll damage the dielectric. So, very bad idea if you don't know what you're doing. So, be careful. But appreciate you coming in here from the boating community. I hope you are enjoying the RF supply. We do RF coax builds throughout. I do bird meter, watt meter setups, things like that. I could actually set up the same watt meter on a boat if you really wanted to. So if you could actually monitor your SWR, your return loss, and things like that. So it's pretty neat. I think it's pretty cool. All right, what's everybody else got to say? How many feet? Yeah, copy that. Yeah, copy the VHF run. Yeah, I've got, oh, you might be closer to 400. I can't remember what frequency y'all operate on. I'm an RF supply company, so I build for whoever, all sorts of different frequencies, so it mixes together after a minute. Luckily for you, VHF makes a lot of sense because VHF uses, it has a very high absorption. So high absorption is a problem, but also at the same time, when you're on the water, there is no absorption because there's no trees, no obstructions, nothing to block you. So it works out great. So, tell me how to get the solder in the tiny hole for the pen. Type in because I can't get it. Heat and watching what you're doing. So there is a certain amount of heat that builds up on a connector and you'll watch solder wick. I did several videos that I zoomed in really close and showed you guys how the solder wicked. Unfortunately, this is a very nice camera, but it does not zoom any closer than what it does right now. So I will try to coach you through it and tell you how it works. We've got a hole here. I threw some solder on top of that hole. I'm not sure if you can see that. I don't know if it's focused very well. I hope it is. I'm trying to look. Yeah, you can see it. Not super well, but you can see it. Maybe I'll change the brightness just a smidge. A little bit dimmer. That might be a little worse. A little bit brighter. I don't know. You can see it enough. Whatever. So, hole's got solder right here, right? So I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to add some heat. You don't have to do it with this. You can use a soldering iron and do the same thing. Depends on how big the mass that you're trying to heat up is. So I'm going to add the heat. If you can see that joint, hopefully you can see it. It's solid. And what happens is it'll melt. And as it melts, it'll wick in. If you've ever watched wicking action, like some water wicking, there you go. It's wicking in right now. And now, there's nothing but bare wire in there. That is nice and hot, super hot. And now it is preheated to the temperature that it needs to be to accept the solder and actually pull it into the hole. So I can now add solder with a good soldering iron that's got a pretty decent amount of wattage and I can actually add solder to that hole. So you want to watch it wick, looking for the wicking action. When you add solder, you're adding the iron to the hole, and you're putting the solder to the hole also. You're not putting the solder on the end of the iron. You're adding solder to the actual workpiece. If you want to add your fill material to the actual, in front of the actual hole where you're actually trying to solder to. Now, it's such a small hole, you might hit right on top of the soldering iron, and who cares? It's not the end of the world. But you just have to understand the concept. The concept is you're adding filler material to the hole, and you're heating up the hole. You're not putting the solder on the end of the iron and trying to let the iron do the work and wick it in. That's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to get enough heat on it so it can wick in and do what it needs to do. So if you look, I can't go in any closer, but if you look right there, it's bonded and did very well on that hole. Let me go to the next one. I can't waste my heat real quick. I got to get on the next hole. Same thing, add the soldering iron to the hole, and then add the solder to the actual hole also. So that's how you solder. A lot of guys will get it messed up, and that simple little technique right there will save your butt. You do the same thing with TIG welding. So if anybody ever TIG welds and you get deep into the TIG welding, you'll figure out why you got a crappy joint that's not got a lot of penetration. It's because one, you either don't have enough heat, or two, you're trying to add the filler material in the wrong place. You're not letting it pull up and actually build and melt the actual metal. So same concept with solder, just a lot smaller. So this is not a rubber mat. This is a high temperature bench right here. So I can lay my soldering iron right on top of that, and it doesn't melt the bench. I sell these on my website. I don't think they're on the website. I sell these on my page, but I haven't added them to the website yet. But if you wanted one, they're just a high temperature mat that can handle a lot of heat. They're also safe from static and things like that. You could be even safer by adding a grounding strap to yourself, but not until you get into very small ICs does that really become something that's super necessary. 73 from Ohio, KF8 BTH, hello. So what you have right here, whenever you're dealing with this stuff, is you're looking for a certain type of solder. Now this solder is going to be expensive, so be prepared to pay the piper. But this right here is the main key. Let me see if you guys can see. I'm going to zoom into one area right here. See this right here? Maybe. Whatever. See if it'll show you right here. See if it'll refocus. Rosin. You're looking for a rosin core. The core itself has actually got your solder paste, or whatever people would say. Solder paste is not the same thing. It's just actually a low temperature solder that you just add a torch to and heat it up. So it's a little different, but whatever. It's just kind of, I'm explaining that because I'm assuming you're asking about flux. Yes, you're looking to add, so I use rosin core, so I don't have to add a bunch of flux to the stuff. Next Hamfest that I'm going to be going to is going to be in Hamcation in I'm going to Hamcation in Orlando, Florida on Valentine's Day weekend, and I'll probably be at Dayton also. I should be at those two events. The other events are key downs. They are for other frequencies, so that one specifically, I don't know what the club frequency is right off, but I'm sure it's probably going to be on the free band or close to the CB band for the one in Gulfport. But like I said, it's just that's a once a year event. These guys, yeah, key downs in Gulfport. But yeah, it's just the club frequency, whatever frequency the club decides on is what they end up using. Now in Thailand, I think they're on probably 160 megs when they're doing their little, no, not Thailand, Indonesia. I think in Indonesia when they're doing their race, they're on like 160 megs, and they do it off a table. It's completely different. All right, now, what else? I am from Georgia. I have had several people from all over today come in. I've had, hang on, let me just see. I'm kind of curious. So we've had, when we started, we had, dang, man, so many people joined. That's cool, ain't no problem with that. I don't mind it. Oh, it's the wrong one. No one on that. Let me go over here to this one. There we go. So we had Chile come in earlier today. We had Indonesia come in today. Serbia came in today. So lots of different people from all over. Pretty cool. Hello from Southwest Ohio. I just got back from Joliet, Illinois the other day. That was another event that I went to. So we're currently working on some sample line for a bird meter right now. I'm using Rg-400 cable to do it. Biloxi most of my life and never knew about the keydown competition. Ah, that's cool. Yeah, it is. There's one in New Orleans. I went to New Orleans at the beginning of this year, and there's one towards the end of the year in Gulfport. So there's definitely, yeah, that's pretty cool how you lived in Biloxi. I don't know how many years. Six pack. How many years do you think Gulfport's been going on for? It's been a lot of years, I think. 10 and 11 meter GMRS. Cool. Yeah, around 400 and something, I think is. Well, GMRS is 160, and I think there's a open frequency at 442 or something like that. I can't remember what frequency it is. The frequency allocations and things like that, it's not something I keep locked away in the back of my head. I do, like, if you tell me a band or something like that, I can literally do the math and tell you what band that is if you just told me a frequency. But if you told me, like, what allocations for this and what's for this one, I'm not going to get all that stuff off the top of my head. There's that stuff's written down. It's easy to find. It's not something I'm going to try to remember. Now, I'll remember velocity factor for a coax. I'll remember impedance, resonance, all that stuff. I'll remember stuff that actually helps me do my job faster. But I'm not going to remember certain frequency allocations as much, at least. I try to remember some of them, but I don't get super into it. $462, $467. I thought it was around 440. So $462, $467. Thanks for letting me know. Appreciate that. So we're watching this wick into this joint right here. I knew there was one up there. I just couldn't remember exactly where it was. I know 440 is a whole different frequency. That's the VHF frequency for or UHF, I guess it would be for your, what the heck's 440? Look, hang on, look, you ready for this? Here's your math. So we do 299, 792, 458 divided by 440. So, excuse me, 440. Oh, it's 23 centimeters is what it is. Where did my, oh, there's right here. So if you guys want a neat, nifty number to remember the speed of light. The speed of light is 299,792,458 meters per second. So that right there is a pretty nifty number to remember because it helps you do a lot of other calculations. If you figure that out, you can divide by whatever frequency that somebody talks about, and you can understand what frequency that they are on. So if you say, somebody says they operate on 28 megahertz, right? You're like, oh, okay, what meter is that? And then you don't remember right off the top of your head or something like that, and you just don't know, right? So all you got to do is take 299,792,458 meters per second divided by 28 million, right? So it's 28 megahertz, mega, million. So 28 million hertz right there. That's 28 billion, excuse me, 28 million. That is 10.7, so it's 10 meters. It's just outside of the 11 meter band. So GMRS 70 centimeter, if you was to actually go and figure out what 70 centimeter was, you can go, let's just do it this way. 160, 299, 299, 792, 458 divided by, say, 167, 167 megahertz. That's 1.79. That's around 2 meter application, right? So if we go to 462, that is 0.64 meters, so something like that. That's what it would be. So that would be 70 meters or so. If we went to, say, I might have did some math wrong a while ago on accident, but say I do 800 megahertz, right? Or and I want to figure out what that is. That's 0.37. If I wanted to figure out what 23 centimeter is, I think it's a gigahertz. I said 23 centimeter a while ago. I apologize. 23 is 1.4. 35. 23 centimeters is about 1.35 gigahertz. So I wrote that one. I did some math wrong just typing it in. Like I said, I don't try to remember it off the top of my head. I just divide it by the speed of light. What is the size, please? What size? What size? This is Rg-400 is what I'm working on right now, if that's what you're asking about. So I messed around and did some what's up, King Pumpkin? Waving a hand. Oh, appreciate you, King Pumpkin. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you're enjoying it. We're working on, like I said, some coax right here. Torch. What size is the torch? It's a Burnzomatic stylus, I think. You can get it at Home Depot. It uses regular propane. You can use MAP gas on it if you need to, but that is totally unnecessary for this and actually probably too hot. If you managed your heat, it would probably work okay, but definitely not the best idea. All right, questions. Anybody got any other questions? Y'all feel free to ask. It does not hurt my feelings at all to answer them. Don't feel like there's no dumb questions. I'll accept them all. Now, if you want to ask me what frequency allocations, 70 centimeter, 23 centimeter, 2 meter, or something like that, you're going to see me break out a calculator because it's all I'm going to do. I'll just do the math for you. Because the math's pretty simple. If everybody wants to know why we call the 11 meter band the 11 meter band, why we call 10 meter band the 10 meter band, it's literally broken down to the frequency that you operate on. You break down the frequency that you operate on by the speed of light, and you get what a full wave is at that specific frequency. What gauge is the coax? It is not a specific gauge, it's a style coax. So I guess if you was to, there is a gauge on the center conductor, but the closest physical gauge, if you were to try to compare it in DC size wire, would be probably around 10 gauge or so. But it is 2 wires, it is not just 1 wire. So it's a coaxial cable. It has a center conductor and it has a shield. Let's clean this booger up. Do our last one, last and final, and then I can be done with this particular area and move on to the bird stuff. Is this charger keeping up? I hope so. Let's take a look real quick. We are currently at 20%. It is keeping up. So we gained 9% in about, I don't know, an hour or something. So normally this stylus has a piezoelectric igniter already. Piezoelectric, I think is what you call it. So it's just an auto igniter. But I've used mine for a while now, probably over a year, and that igniter has finally failed. How do you key on your neighbor? Do I perform sweep tests? Yes, I'll sweep it from one end of the spectrum to the other. I'll do a sweep test. I can do a phase angle test. I can do a several different tests. So I have a VNA sitting right over here. I have also a 1.5 gigahertz, 1.5 gigahertz analyzer, a 600 megahertz analyzer. Oh, two little small VNAs if I wanted to use them. And I could go real old school over here with the old MFJ if I wanted to. So, and then, like I said, if I wanted to go real fancy, I will break down and go ahead and cut on, the VNA over here. See if I can get it to actually show you. So that's HP 8753C with the S parameter test set below it. So yeah, I can test whatever. Copy the keying on your neighbor there, 6-pack. You got it handled, man. Why don't you heat up the metal then to use the soldering iron? Isn't the iron hot enough? The problem is the iron has only about 80 watts worth of heat. So the problem is whenever I use, yes, MFJ is made in Starkville, Mississippi. They have ceased production too, unfortunately. What's up, Eric? Waving a hand, man. Hope you're doing good. Trevor, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Let me get back on this real quick before I lose all my heat. So the problem is thermal mass. So I'm going to heat it back up anyway, whatever. I don't care. So this is a fluorinated ethylene propylene jacket. So that means it can handle very high temperatures. It also has a very low friction coefficient. Inside is a PTFE, polytetrafluoroethylene, Teflon basically, dielectric. And it has a double braided shield and also has a double braided shield, but it's silver plated also. And then the center conductor is a silver plated copper also. So because of the copper, because of all the extra shield in the material here, you have a lot of thermal capacity. So this, the thermal conductivity of copper is really good, but it likes to hold on to that heat. It doesn't like to let it go. That's why when you see like really, really good heat sinks, you'll see a copper spreader and you'll see an aluminum heat sink. Simply because the aluminum lets it go, the copper is good about grabbing it. So what happens is it's got so much thermal mass here, by the time I heat up with an 80 watt iron, the connector, over half the coax is now hot because it grabbed all of that heat from that connector and transferred it down the coax itself. It's like you got a built-in heat sink sitting on your wire. So it's not the best practice to get that much heat on your wire. So I generally will try to massively heat super fast to get the body of the connector hot and keep the body of that connector hot while I'm doing my work. And then before I'm done, it's not transferred down the wire more than 5 or 10 inches. So that is why if I had about a 300 or 400 watt iron that had a very small tip, it would be very useful to do this same job, because I would be able to have enough thermal mass to throw into this one local area to get it hot fast enough, and then also not overheat the rest of the wire. Because 500 degrees is definitely the limit for what this can handle, and my iron is at more than 500 degrees, and so is that torch. So I want to heat up the end. I do not want to heat up the entire wire, and I also don't want to damage my dielectric. So that's why I use a torch. That is only good for this type of fluoropolymer wire. It's not good for your PVC jacketed wires like your 213, your RG8X, and things like that. You cannot do this. So do not copy me and say, oh, I watched D-Win do it on my, and I'm doing it on my RG213 the same way as him. Don't do that. Just don't do that. If you managed your heat very, very well and did it very quickly, yes, it would work. But just don't, because there's too many ways to screw it up. All right, let me add a little bit more solder rocks, y'all, because I'm trying to fill up a gap that's irritating me. All right, so now this is complete. This is, oh no, it's not complete. I lied. There's another gap over here that I don't like. So this is the one I had to heat up twice. So what happens when I heat it up more than once is I can overheat one of the other holes, and what happens is the solder is made to wick. It does a really good job at wicking. When you overheat a connection, it will wick the solder straight out of the hole you go in and go to the lowest point of gravity nearby. It doesn't look pretty, but I don't care. I like to make them pretty, but I am not going to argue over one last joint. That's what I'm doing there is overkill anyway, because it's already actually compression fitted to the actual jacket of the wire. So all these are done. This is set up. These are cut. These are ready. I'll make sure they're ready here in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of solder, or not hot solder, I'll add a little bit of zip ties to these, and that way I've got enough extra tail to do what I need to do, but also it's tied up. I had a friend working there in 2007 assembling their products while taking tests. Oh, that's pretty cool. What style are those connectors? This is just a regular UHF PL259 connector. These right here are Teflon connectors that I'm using currently. So get that off, pull this back over here, pull this into this place for a shaw. And now what we're gonna do is screw this into here, here, and here. All right, all those are screwed in. So now I have one sample line set up right here. And then I have another sample line set up differently right here. So this one's attached to the back of this unit like that. So now we can zoom, 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 out we go. Turn the camera up just a smidge. Turn it over just a smidge. And this is set up right here. So now from here, we have a Bird 4421, a Bird 4410A. We've got another Bird 43, another Bird 43, another coaxial dynamics peak, another couple Bird 43s, a Bird 5000 XT, and another couple transmitter testers over here that I can use to monitor and check and see what my output is, where my output is, how much of that is on frequency, what the dBm that is, and manage and make sure that my readings are going to be accurate on this equipment right here. So that is what we're going to be doing. I know for a fact I don't have enough time to do that today, so I will probably be fiddling with this here soon. I've got to do 2 firmware updates on these and update these to the latest firmware, and then we will be playing with that and having some fun. Appreciate you, Eric. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you, man. As absolutely, I do appreciate you, man, for sure. The big iron, the problem with the big iron is the tip is so incredibly large, it is useless for what I do. Do I have 10K and 25K slugs? Yes, I have. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Just a couple watts sitting right here in slugs. Not super bad. Nothing crazy. Nothing. Not a ton. Right there. So just a couple different sizes for you guys to sit there and look at. See if it'll focus on without being in so much daggum light. I don't even know what angle I'm at, but whatever. Just a few. So we got a few slugs. I got all sorts of different types. I've got 50 watts. I've got some. There's another. Oi, where's the angle at? Can I get it to focus on this? Let me just do that. It's so much easier when I just look at the daggum camera lens. Get over there. There's another one. But yeah, I've got lots of stuff. So focus back right on the bench, please. That would be nice. Thank you. All right. Follow me down. Thank you. Please bring it to Gulfport. Let me know which ones you're looking for. I will get you what you need. Just tell me if it's for what size slug it is, and we can go from there. Thank you, Fee. How do you say your name? Is it Fee? Full? I know it's pho when you say pho, P-H-O, but I'm not sure how to say P-H-I. If you have a way to like write it out so I can pronounce it right, I'd love to pronounce your name right. Fee is correct? Okay, cool. Great. Woohoo! I'm good. I am very I try to be proper with my speech. I try to make sure the words that I say are articulated in a good way, but it's very easy to tell that I'm from Georgia. So just to be honest, I don't know how to say it any differently than what I do, but yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be prepping for tomorrow. Maybe you guys might like this. Maybe you guys might hate it. I don't know, but I've got to do it anyway. So if you guys want to hang out to watch, you guys are great. You know, bonus. What's that supposed to be? Okay. I'm talking about you guys just know. Cool. All right, let me get back over here and let's take a look. So I've got to currently look real quick. I've got all this stuff right here. The stuff set up. I didn't have that set up for that, so I already know that much is wrong, so that's fine. This has got to ship out. I need to do several pieces of testing on this right here for this customer. That needs to be tested very, very soon. This right here needs to be done pretty soon. I might have to break away and work on it. What is it currently? Yeah, I'm going to have to break away and work on this. This is not acceptable. It's a little bit too far out right now. I need to get this thing done. Okay, that's fine. Then I need to look at this order. I need 2 jumpers for this. I need to get this one shipped out ASAP. This is what happens when you're sick for a daggum week, man. Messed you up. I got that whole order figured out mostly, I think. All that is figured out. We're good there. Then this order is 3 more. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do now. So 5 to do there. 6, 7 to do there. That's 7 total. And then I've got 1, 2, 7, 7, 7, 8 to do. And then just should be 8 to do, right? So I got 8 jumpers to build. So, okay. Dang it, man. God. Okay. So let's just start cutting real quick. You guys will see what we're doing. It's not, like I said, I'm not super special. Grammatically lazy. What'd you say, grammatically lazy? What are you complaining about over there? Let me get this thing over there and see what you're... I don't know what you mean by grammatically lazy, but... I could do several things for automated testings. I've got presets set on my test equipment. So yes, I could, but I do multiple different things. I don't know if I'll have it finished in time, Mark. I'm trying. So what I'm going to be doing is setting up. I mean, I should have it finished time. What is it going to be? The 19th, and it's currently the 8th. Yeah, I should have it finished. I don't think I have any problems. But I needed to discuss it. I was going to work out something with you, Mark, on getting you another one, but I just realized I made a mistake, and I went back and looked at our ticket, and I don't have it on there. I'm pretty sure you might be okay with this, but I will ask you anyway. It is basically, this is done a little bit better than what one that I was going to do for you. And also, I've been notified of a delay in shipment on some more of my digital meters. So, not a very big delay, but enough of a delay to be annoying. It's going to be about, I think, 7-day delay or so. So about a full week. So actually a little bit over a week because it's a 7-day delay. 7-day, I think, is going to push me out another weekend. So it would technically be a 9-day delay. But we'll see. I have meters, Reaper. If you want to get some, just let me know. I'm doing several of them right now. I got several movements that's going out, several different meters that's going out. I thought I was going to get them a little bit faster, but it's going to take me a little bit longer to get them. Nothing crazy. Just a little bit of a delay due to really just some paperwork for the most part. That's what's being done. And not paperwork on my part, paperwork on somebody else's part. No hate, no complaints, no nothing. Just I'm very happy. I will have currently I have around probably 18 of these movements available, and that's it for probably about a month. So if you guys want them, you need to order them faster because that's all I'm going to have for a little while. So if anybody wants these movements, I do sell these digital movements right here. I sell the regular movements also, so it doesn't matter which one you want. I can sell you either one. I'm going to turn this camera just a smidge, show a little bit of my messy bench, but you guys can see what I'm doing with this wire. All the dust on my freaking floor. Jeez, it's a nightmare. What's up, Deuce? Hope you're doing well, man. Appreciate you. So we're measuring off a bunch of Rg-400. I've got, what is this, 7 times 70, 70 times 9 plus 12, 80, what was that, 84 foot? No, 80, 82 foot, something like that, whatever. I don't know. Let me do some cutting real quick. $91 foot. I was adding 12, not 13. All right. I got 91 foot of coax I got to get cut real quick. Then I got another 200 or 300 foot that I've got to get worked on. Then we got more bird meters to work on. We got lots of stuff to get done. But hey, it could be a lot worse. I could have no business and have nobody in the front door or nobody ordering anything. So I am grateful for the business. I appreciate every one of you guys who order stuff from me. I try to get it out as timely as I can. Unfortunately, if I get sick, it definitely throws my timeline off. And I was sick last week. It's one of those like terrible, like annoying sicknesses because I'm not sick like I'm not able to like got a headache or stuff like that. It's physical sickness. I couldn't use my hands, and that was very annoying. It's even still prevalent somewhat today, but it's as long as I'm not rubbing like really hard against like a lot of rough surfaces and pulling my hands through tight corners and stuff like that, it doesn't bother me. But it's awful, man. It's very annoying when you can't use your hands because I do a lot of intricate and technical stuff with my fingers. And not saying that other guys might do more technical stuff than me, but smallest stuff I'll work on is like surface mount 0.0201 or zero package size 0201. But about 0.8 millimeters across or so. But when you get small stuff like that, I can do it. But when it comes to like digging through a bunch of wiring, pulling a bunch of things through panels and stuff, I just can't do it. Or I couldn't do it last week. All right, so West Texas, thank you, appreciate you, man. Hurricane to the north and seems to be safe. Cool. Awesome. Appreciate you, Juice, man. I hope be safe in the with the bad weather, man. Hopefully everything comes through good. I thought they called it cyclones in the Pacific Ocean over there. Do they still call it cyclones in Hawaii, or do they call them hurricanes if it's in like Alaska or something? Thank you guys for the likes on TikTok. You guys are awesome. I do appreciate it. It helps a lot. All right, so we're working on, like I said, just cutting a bunch of wires. I usually stop the video right here because you guys like it or don't like it or whatever. What's up, Spider-Man in Mississippi? Hope you coming out to Gulfport, Spider-Man? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to do 3 more of these. Oh, Lord Jesus. I need to go back and time myself and see if my daggum time's even remotely right. I've been charging by the hour to do my stuff, but I'm pretty sure that my quotes are a bit off. So I'm going to go back and look at my times and review it. I'm probably not going to change my prices till next year sometime. But anything I'm spending like significant amount more time on than what I'm quoting for, I'm going to try to be a little bit more accurate on my quotes, because it's not fair for me to do certain jobs and not do other ones just because I've got so much crazy amount of time invested in them. It might knock out some of my business, but it is what it is. I can't, like, I've worked, I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll do it next year. This year we'll call it a wash for some of my time, but next year we will try to be a little bit more accurate. I try to be the cheapest on everything I possibly can, but when it comes to labor, I can't be the cheapest. I gotta get paid for the work that I'm doing, because otherwise I don't have the time to be able to do other things. If it's material, I can sell you material for cheaper. I'm happy with that. That don't hurt my feelings at all. But I can't sell my labor for cheaper, because otherwise I've got a very limited and finite amount of time in the day to do jobs. And if I don't finish them or get them all done, then I don't get paid. So I got to make sure that I'm not overdoing it. So if you guys watch the technique that I've got, and I'm not saying I'm the best at this technique or anything, but you guys can see how I kind of wrap this wire up and keep it somewhat uniform fairly quickly, and you don't have to worry about having a bunch of extra wire sitting around. Maybe that's interesting to some guys, maybe it's not with others, but you can kind of follow that, and maybe that'll help you out. Appreciate you, Deuce. Thanks for the accolades there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. So this will make the 7th one. I've did 3 more today, so that makes 8, 9, 10. I've done 10 pieces of Rg-400 in a very, very short period of time. But hey, I'm not done yet, so it ain't like I'm doing it all yet. All right, questions. You guys want to talk about stuff with RF3? I can do that while I'm wrapping this wire. It does not stop me from talking to you guys. Copy, you'll be there, Spider-Man. I'll see you there, man. Hope everything turns out great. That'll be awesome. That was my that was my foot. I made it through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these, and on the very last one, it had to clip my toe. So, yay. I'll do this one a little smaller than the other ones just because I want to. That was like a whip, man. That kind of had I hit my toe twice. Hit my foot again with the tail of the Coax. That crap would hurt, man. If somebody whipped you with that, like a belt. Ouch. All right, so let's look at this order. I got one order that's ahead of these, I don't know which jumper is first, but I'm trying to get it all prepped and ready. So I'm going to grab some more parts real quick so you guys will see what I'm grabbing next. Where's it at? This right here is a run of 1/2 inch hardline. I've got 2 more harnesses of 1/2 inch to do. One in flex, I think another one in hardline, and I'll be working on those. So I'm gonna throw a couple connectors on this real quick because I don't have a lot of time, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I've got to get this thing. I just looked at my time and I'm a week and a half overdue on this one. I was supposed to finish it last week, but I got sick and I thought I was gonna get this bird meter finished up, but that did not happen the way I thought it was gonna happen. So I try to pay attention to my orders and try to get stuff done in a timely manner. So seeing as I know that I'm slightly behind on this one, I'm going to go ahead and at least get something underway on it. I've got a jumper. Where are they at? That's these. That's a right angle. That's a wrong piece. I need to order some more of these things so I can be done with this crap. I got plenty of those. I don't need those at all. Got a bunch of stuff for that. There's my 7/8 stuff. I got those. I can use those, but I really don't want to. Let me look at them. I don't know. I might use these. I've got about 50 or 60 of these, and I like these fine. Let me see what they have. If they don't have what I'm looking for, then I'm not going to use them. That's the wrong one. I didn't read. No, they don't have what I need, so I'm not going to use them. I like them fine, but they're not what I want. I've got a bin full. There's flex. There's L4. Okay, there we go. Right there. That's what I was looking for. There's 1, 2 of those. I'm going to get some more of these on the way at some point in time, super soon. Oh, goodness. So, I'm going to go ahead and throw this end on here real quick, show you guys how this works. I've got a lot of coax sitting in here in front of me, so I'm going to move it out of my way. I'm going to turn this camera over here, pull it down there, zoom, something like that should be pretty good, I think. It'll be all right. So, I lived in Center, Georgia for a while. Warner Robins or Macon. Okay, I am about 2.5 hours from that. So you'll go north a bit, and I will be up there. So you go up by up near the state line. You drive up 85 like you're going towards South Carolina, and that's the direction I'm in. So I am northeast section of Georgia is where I'm at. I don't have a storefront. My business is a fairly decent sized shop. I've got 2, 3, I don't know. Realistically, if I'm being super, super generous, I've got 4,000 square foot that I can work with as usable workspace inside my shop. And then probably about an additional 1,500 square foot or so outside that I'll utilize. But for now, I am only properly utilizing a 25 by 20 and another 25 by 20 right now, and then another 14 by 20, I guess, something like that, as of now. It is currently 1 a.m. here in the eastern board of the U.S. That is what time it is here. So, what we need to do right here, see how it slides over the jacket just fine? We need to go ahead and cut this back right here. So, on this, if you look at the manufacturer specs, it calls for 33 millimeter cut, but it also wants to be on a high part of the ridge. So what I need to do is take my little cutters. I've got some in a box down here. Let me grab it out. These right here will do. Put this booger back on my knee so I can support it. YouTube land, what are you guys doing over there? Where's YouTube at? YouTube's all right. Where is YouTube? I minimized it on accident. I was showing these guys this SDR and I blocked these guys out. Eric. All right, cool. I saw Eric's comments. I cannot see. I can see it over there, so whatever, it'll be all right. So we want to cut this on a mark real quick. Let's go ahead and mark it. Where is my handy dandy little knife? My knife. So we want to hit the high part of that ridge right there, and we want to mark it, and then we want to get on that mark with our cut. It's pretty straight, no complaints there. All right, so now let's verify our cut. What we're going to do is cut this little piece off, cut the jacket off of it, and take a look and see what we got to work with. So rather than poke a hole in my bench, I'm not going to be, I am kind of going to be stupid. I'm going to get my hand away from here. Can't do that. I got to hold it right here on the jacket. So I'm going to do this on a wooden part of my bench so I don't damage my other junk. So that's one thing this bench cannot handle. It cannot handle cuts. I definitely have done that on a few occasions. It's not a cutting bench. It is absolutely a workbench. So be careful when you're doing that. All right, that is a perfect cut. That is what I want. I want a little bit more flange than what I had before, so that is going to be good. I'm happy with that. Sweet. So that tells me my next cut's going to be great. So now I need my caliper, and it's going to be hiding all the way over there. Oh, goodness. Oh, man, come on. I'll deal with that later. My little mini measure, what do you call it? Not measuring tape, my thermometer over there. So change this over to mils, zero it out. Let's go to mils. Let's go to 33. 33 mil. Let's go down to 7. 7 mil. There we go, got our cut. Now, get a razor blade and get to work. Like I said, questions, you guys feel free to ask me anything you like. It does not hurt my feelings. We'll talk about it, we'll discuss it, and we'll go over what's next. I think I'm gonna find myself pulling back, so what I'm gonna do is bump the camera over just a smidge so you guys can see me in most all camera angles. I just gotta make sure I stay at least this far forward because I'm gonna follow this around so you guys will see me. Don't get too mad at me. I'm just trying to stay close while I'm also working so you guys can see what we're doing, but at the same time, I still got to do it. I still got to do the work. So now we're going to go up here and see if I can do this. I don't think this is a good idea. I've done this before. So we'll see if I have any complaints in just a few seconds. I just figured I'd try this because it's been a minute since I've done it, and it's not very hard to try. So the way I'm going to test this is I'm going to look at the opposite, the inverse of what I just worked on. Tell me if this is focused pretty good, guys, because don't want it to be blurry for you guys to try to see what the heck's going on. There's something right there. So this is 1/2 inch hard line. This is what we're working on right now. We are getting this coax done real quick, or at least getting some more done on this coax before I call it an evening. So let's take a look and see how that cut was. Not bad at all. I am pretty satisfied with that cut. That's a pretty solid cut. So now let's go ahead and cut the rest. If anybody wants any coax like this, you can message this page and I can build you whatever you like. I quoted out 2 more harnesses today, so I got 2 more in line to get them done. And we'll be working on them sometime in a couple weeks. Alright, so now we're going to do our O-ring, so we need to go ahead and prep that. The way we'll do that is we will snag this little piece right here. Cut that end off right there. And we will throw some dielectric grease on this. They call it silicone compound, but it's just pretty much dielectric grease. You guys are quiet. If you guys got questions, ask. If you guys want to talk about what I'm building, you want to know what I'm building, ask. We'll explain it to you. You guys want to talk about Gulfport coming up? By all means, we'll talk about some Gulfport and get you guys to come on out and check you guys out. Check a key down out for yourself. I encourage all you guys to make at least one event like that because they're absolutely unique and fun and enjoyable. And there's lots of good people that help put these events on. And they really would encourage you to come check it out. If you're not into it, it's just like a drag race, so you can go and enjoy it, and you don't have to participate. You don't have to be a drag racer to like drag racing. So, hope you guys get a chance to come out. If it ain't Gulfport, hope you make it one of these other events that's going to be coming up next year. Gulfport's one of the last events this year. There's also a swap meet that's going to be happening in Carnesville. That is the northeastern part of Georgia. That's my local event that I go to every year. It's the Wolfman event. So I'll be going there. On the 4th Saturday in October is October 25th. It is a swap meet. It is not a key down. So it's basically like if you was to go to like the drag strip and go to the swap meet. So copy and missed the North Carolina one. Hope you make Gulfport. Gulfport's the 19th to the 21st. That's the last key down of the year for a big event. There is another small one-day event in Baltimore, Maryland. In November. It is a fundraiser event. There is another local event in Indiana sometime, I think this coming weekend, next coming weekend, something like that. I don't know exactly. I don't have a flyer on that one. I was just told about it. There is also, like I said, the Wolfman event. The swap meet is the 4th Saturday in October. That's the other event I will be at this year. I do not think I'll be able to make Baltimore, Maryland. I would love to, but I don't think I'm going to make it. Yeah, it was about 3 hours and 30 minutes or so to make Jonesville, North Carolina for me. So if you're in the North Carolina area, it'll be about, I don't know, between 2 and 3 hours to make it over to the swap meet in Georgia. Gulfport, of course, is a long way away, but you can fly into Biloxi. Trying to be there with a 1 alternator truck? Heck yes. That'd be awesome, man, for sure. Spider-Man. I'd love to see you keying out there. That'd be awesome. Even if you don't, I mean, shoot, who gives a crap about it? Just key, man. That's going to be fun. Talking about having another keyer that's going to show up, hopefully, if he can get his truck all ready. Alrighty, so now we need to measure this real quick and see if we got our millimeters. Yeah, that's fine. So now let's not get too cocky. If I'm too prideful and don't watch what I'm doing, I can easily cut myself working on this stuff. Because when I'm building this flange, this sharp little edge of copper, it's even worse when I'm working with 7/8 or 1 5/8. I will absolutely throw my gloves on when I'm working on 7/8 or 1 5/8 because I cut myself just the other day like 2 times in a row with 7/8, and I had to deal with that for a daggum week. So I don't want to deal with that. I will not be at Baltimore. I've got other engagements in Baltimore on the date that Baltimore is. So we're pulling our dielectric off a bit. This is a foam polyethylene dielectric. You also have to manage and make sure you don't have any shavings inside that connector. If you do, then you better make sure you clear them out, because if you don't, then it'll cause you some problems later on down the line. Let me look at this invoice and make sure I'm building correctly, because I might be building this wrong. Let's take a look right here and see what this customer ordered. Let's take a look at their order. Yay. Oh, yep. I'm happy I stopped and looked. That's what happens when it's late at night and you ain't paying attention. I think I have some other wire that's around this length, but I am not doing it for this customer's order. I wasn't 15 minutes from it. Didn't know about it until I was over. Oh, man. Yeah, it was definitely I tried to announce it, but I made a post on Friday. I made another post on Friday late at night. I made a post about it, I don't know, a week before. But again, these are all on my RF supply, so if you weren't checking out my RF supply, then you would have missed them. But yeah, shoot, man, it's going to be there every year. I don't know if it's going to be the exact same time every year, but they will be doing another one next year, from what I hear. So I don't think you'll be missing out. I think it'll be all right. Dang it, man! I built too good of a flange. Okay, so throw this over here. This is for the next build, not for this build. For this build, I need what I just showed you guys earlier. Where did I put it? Did I put it back down on the pile, or did I leave it in the box? Where did I put it? I threw it back in this box. Da-da-da-da. All right. So we're working on something just a little bit bigger. So we will also double check our data and see if it's the same. I mean, it already says it right here. Let me look. Right. It didn't show me. Where? Oh, you little dirtbag. Lazy bums. Let me pull this one out real quick. Them lazy bums didn't daggum put a install sheet in there. They said scan the QR code for the install sheet. No, forget you guys. I'll just pull an old install sheet out right here. Well, that's pretty neat. This is definitely not the same, but I'm going to look and check real quick and see, just to confirm. Calls for that millimeters, call for that setup. Open that page up. There's some classic paperwork right there. So we're not going to be doing this type of connection. This is a whole different connector. but it's pretty neat though. Cutting back. What does it call for on this one? I'm kind of curious. 51, but then it says the deburr, and it doesn't tell me how far that needs to be. It's 25.4. No, this one's different. All right. This one's very classic. This is cool, but I'll show you guys this one later. This is a little bit of unobtainium right over here. I will not be using this one because it's not required. I will not be using it. Let's do my little phone, and let's do a scan just to confirm. I'm positive I know, but I want to look and be sure. All right, so click that, open that up. That's stupid. What are you supposed to scan a QR code if the QR code don't work? 237-903, 237-903. See if I can get it opened up. Save this, open this up, see what it shows. Open, right there, open that booger up. All right, here is our install sheet right here. So now we look and confirm. It's going to be this 237-903, 237-903 for the bulletin. 237-903. All right, same thing. We're good to go. So this will be pretty quick, so you guys can see how this works. I would have loved to meet you since you heard so much about. Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I do appreciate the interest and the wanting to come by and say hello. That is absolutely appreciated for sure. I am, like I said, an RF supply company. I've been doing this stuff for a while. What's up, Junior? Hope you're doing good, my duck. Questions. Nobody else said anything else? We're good. I try to be safe and make sure I'm looking over all the comments and making sure I'm not skipping nobody. When it gets late, you guys just start watching instead of talking. But yeah, man, shoot, absolutely. It'll be a pleasure to meet you next year. If you can make it by, I should be there next year, no real problems. Bus stop event is also in Greenville, South Carolina. So if you want to make that event, you can go there. Christopher Levine, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you, man. I don't know if I said I appreciate that a while ago or not, but I absolutely do appreciate it. Throw this back on right here. Build the flange back out. I got to be careful right here because I'm rebuilding the flange, but I got to make sure not to rip it when I'm rebuilding it. Careful and slow. This kind of hurts. So I'm touching the metal a little bit more than I should on this. I need to keep my hand up on the soft spot because that actually, I'm not completely over whatever the heck it is going on with my hands. So it hurts when I'm putting a lot of pressure on my hands. Okay. Flange is built. O-ring needs to be taken care of right over here. All right. I need you and you over here, and I gotta be careful. I need to quit doing that. I'm usually pretty impatient, and I'll just rip my hand right through a group of items just to get down to what I need. But I can't do that right now, or else I'll pay for it. So, gotta watch what I'm doing. This needs to stay still. This needs to rotate and tighten on. Okay, you ready for the scary part? This is what scares everybody. What you gotta do is you gotta try to pull this connector off. If you made a mistake, then you screwed it up. So, watch. If you can't pull it off, you did a good job. That means you're not screwed and you don't have to start over. So, this is done. This is all set up for this gentleman right here. The whole wire is not complete by any means. I got several more of these to do, but I wanted to at least get this on to show you guys kind of what the concept is. And that's how this customer's setting his stuff up. So I've got several more of these to do, put this whole harness together. I got to finish him before I can finish anything else. I went ahead and looked back at my tickets. He is the most outstanding. There is another one that I've got to do with this, but I've got to finish these bird meters, and then I'm going to modify these 2 bird meters on the right to be able to measure and check this. And then, like I said, I'm going to be doing a couple things. So I need to build a really long jumper for something. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not, but I need to. I really need to do that. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get around to it. But a lot to do. Not enough time to do it. A ton of testing that I'd like to get done. But I just, like I said, I'm not there yet. So we're done for the evening. We'll call it an evening with that. I've got more wires, more connectors, more pieces to do. I've got 80-something foot, or 7 different jumpers to build for Rg-400. 3 different main feed line wiring harnesses. One at 136 foot, another one at 90 foot, another one at how many feet? This one at 153 foot right here. This one right here at 153 foot. This one right here is going to be at 60 foot. And then another jumper. This one right here at 90 foot. That's all those. That's that. And that right there. So that's cool. That should be it. Lot to do, not enough time to get it done. I will see you guys back tomorrow. I will be back live, should be sometime around 8 o'clock. So appreciate you. Thank you, John. Appreciate you hanging out. Thanks, Chris, for the accolades. I do appreciate you. You guys are awesome. I thank you guys all for hanging out. Thanks for everybody. So let me zoom out so I'll tell you guys thank you again. Might as well. Who cares? I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for following. It is absolutely appreciated. It's not one of those things where I'm like, follow me or whatever if you want. No, I appreciate you guys. You guys are spreading the content. You guys are sharing the stuff with people. You guys are telling people about it. People are seeing it. It happened like on multiple occasions. I've had multiple different things from you guys because of you. They got popular and went, I would say viral. I'd say for what we are, for communication stuff, it's viral. Like 20,000 views on one, 60,000 views on another. I've got a couple of them on TikTok, 600,000 views and 400,000 views. That's a lot of people for the communications community. So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you again. I just wanted to say that. All right, catch you guys later. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to call it an evening. I'm going to do the fancy screen over here since it will work for both of them. TikTok will probably lose this tomorrow because it bans me every time. I don't know. All right. See you guys later. Y'all guys have a